Hello everybody, this is Manu-S and welcome back to another Eternal News video with more spoilers. Today we got a whole bunch of more spoilers to discuss. They are kind of piling up by now. They're really dropping the spoilers on us hard, which makes me even more certain that we will get this set by like the end of the month or beginning of next month, the latest. Anyway, let's jump into the spoilers. Okay. So today I'll talk about a bunch of spoilers from, I think, yesterday is roughly when they happened, and have to catch up on the spoilers since then in the next 1 or 2 videos, because otherwise the video is just gonna get too long and too many cards in one video, make the videos kind of tedious to watch. So stay tuned for all the spoilers that I haven't covered after this video. Okay, first we have Ron's Joyce. Honestly, unfortunately, I think this card is awful. 8 for a spell is a lot, and that spell better be game-breaking, and this one really isn't. I mean, doubling the attack and health permanently for 1 turn is really not great for 8 power. It's just way too much if you ask me. And basically tutoring a unit for 8 power and doubling its stats also not worth it. Like, it just doesn't make up for it. I mean, look at Rise to the Challenge. Rise to the Challenge costs half and gives +2 attack and is already like borderline expensive and slow, while this card is just basically unplayable. It could at least be like a fast spell that would make it a bit better and more interesting on both modes, but it would still not be very good probably. And this way, the way it is right now, I think it's unplayably awful, unfortunately. Unlike, for example, Rindra's Choice, which is awesome. Next we have Wyrmstone. This is like an okay card. Basically, when you play a spell, you get to sacrifice this and play a 7/7 Sandworm. We already saw the Sandworms before from the Worm Calling card. The problem is the worm enters play exhausted, so it's not just like a 4-cost Sandworm with a delay or a condition. It's a depleted or like exhausted 4-cost Sandworm with a condition or delay, making this pretty bad. Like, if your deck desperately needs relics for some synergies, this might be okay to consider, but all in all the card's not very good. I mean, it's nice that you can do this end of turn with like a fast spell, then it's ready on your turn and your opponent can't interact with it with non-fast spell stuff and all, but all in all that's not good enough. Like, in limited this is a bit better, because a 7/7 even with these conditions and slower is going to be pretty impactful. Next we have Kozul Battle Mage. It's a 3/3 Aegis, Injustice, Double Justice. When you play a spell, Kozul Battle Mage gets +1/+1 this turn. So another decent Justice 3-drop. Problem is Justice has so many good 3-drops already, usually, that this is likely not gonna make the cut. But I don't know, in sideboard formats, if you need some like good generic anti-control threats, this might be a decent card to look for, but all in all the card's a bit short. In limited, however, this seems like a really good card. Next we have Pyre Elemental. I think this one is really cool and interesting actually, because effectively it's a 2-cost 4/3 charge if your deck has a bunch of spells, and if you play a bunch of cheap removal and torches and stuff, and I don't know, favors, you can get some nice value out of this. Like, imagine, I don't know, a Stone Scar deck, for example, that has a bunch of suffocates and sabotages and torches and maybe favors, and this quickly looks like a pretty decent card. You can even try and see if there's a hyper-aggressive deck possible with Trail Stories to even make this a 2-drop. Like, if you get to play this on turn 2 as a 4/3 charge for 2, it's going to be super powerful. So this card is actually a really cool, really interesting card for Constructed, especially given that it's just a common. So I'm really looking forward to experiment with this and see if you can break it and come up with like a really powerful, a little less consistent, hyper-aggressive aggro deck. Really cool card, I like this. And next we have another new aggressive staple, basically timed version of Argenport Instigator, and it's actually a lot better. It has the same stats and the same cost, double time, so it's gonna be pretty restrictive still, so you have to be heavy time, but time has been lacking a good 2-drop that has board impact for so long, and now it's getting one. This is a really big deal. On Infiltrate, Teacher of Humility plays disciplinary weights on the enemy player, and then each player draws a card. I'll show you what disciplinary weights does, because that card is also pretty cool. This is disciplinary weights. It's a cursed relic, and when the cursed player draws extra cards, that means cards after the one card they draw a turn, I think, because otherwise it would be way too broken. But additional card basically just means extra cards. It's a bit of ambiguous wording, given that for a lot of people extra cards is kind of like a coin term from other card games. But anyway, this is what it means. And then yeah, the cost is increased by 3. This also happens to synergize really well with Nightfall, because all the Nightfall draws are extra draws and will be increased by this. So basically you could try and get more value out of Nightfall with this 2-drop by triggering it, and the opponent gets to draw a bunch of virtually dead cards, because they're so expensive, especially if they draw multiple cards that cost 3 more. They might be able to like play the one they draw from the teacher okay at some point, but if they start piling up, they will just have a lot of virtually dead cards, and that's a massive advantage. This 2-drop is gonna be format warping, format defining. It's super powerful, it hits hard, it blocks well, and is also happens to be synergizing really well with Nightfall and be devastating to control decks. Like if your Wisdom of the Elders draws you 2 cards that both cost 3 more, it's suddenly a whole lot less helpful and appealing, other than for like hitting your power drops. So yeah, this is incredible. It's also incredible for tutor effects, because all the tutor effects in the game make you draw the card, as well as the cards that generate virtual cards out of nowhere and put them in your hand. It's all draw, and all of those cards become 3 more expensive. If you, no matter if it's like Worm Calling and you draw 2 worms and they suddenly cost 8 instead of 5, or you rise to the challenge for something and stuff like that. Super powerful. That card is just neck-breaking. And last but not least, we have Lumen Attendant, the first exclusive spoiler that Kamado got for, I think, winning that, or like, I think he won winning that one tournament. I'm not sure if I remember that correctly. And yeah, it's a 3/3 for 4, so pretty small for its cost. Costs double time, so I also have to commit to time. It's void bound, so it can't leave your void. And has an ultimate. You can pay 3 and discard a card of your choice to return a card of your choice from your void back to your hand and get a 1/1 Wisp in the process. Like, the card's kind of interesting and does a couple of cool things, but it's also pretty slow and pretty low impact on the board and has a lot of competition in the 4-cost slot, so that I don't really see this making much of an impact in Constructed, unfortunately. Just a bit too slow and clunky and weak, and yeah, in a bad slot in terms of competition. And yeah, if you want to read the reveal article on our new website over at eternaltitans.com, you can find a link to it down here in the description to check it out and see what the rest of the team and Kamado have to say about the card. And yeah, you'll also find a small quote from me in there. And yeah, that's it again for today. Make sure to generally check out our new website. It's pretty amazing. Huge props to our teammate level 13 David. He did most of the work on the website and he did a great job. Website looks really professional, really polished, looks super awesome, and you can find my videos there in the future, as well as various articles by my teammates and guides and stuff to help you improve your game. Okay, see you in the next video with more spoilers. That's it for this Eternal News episode. I'm Manu S, and I thank you for watching, and I'm out. Bye.